is back. Co-founder of Enjoy Basketball, host of Small Ball Podcast. Kenny Beecham is back. I love the exposed brick, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's wallpaper though, unfortunately, so it's not real.
Shut up. That's so good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have told nobody.
Well,
you should have just went with it.
I can't take the credit. Credit, man. They did a perfect job building it, and I got to let people know it's not real.
It's real good though. It is really, really good. All right, so we got a lot of basketball to talk about. Catch up on everything. So we'll start with the Sixers, Joel Embiid, all the drama that's gone on in Philadelphia. Look, when he plays, he's great, and I think that's part of the confusion. And he's in and out all season long. Doesn't play in the back-to-backs. Chandler has been very vocal on what he thinks they should do: shut him down, get him healthy, start over next time. What do you think? Do you think that this sort of back and forth, come in, have 30, don't play a couple games, is the better way to do it, or is there a better strategy?
It's hard for me to say to shut him down, mostly because some of the other players on the team aren't looking too good either. Like Paul George, who's the biggest acquisition of the offseason, just hasn't looked great. It's like 16 points per game or not so great efficiency. So if we're punting this entire season, we have to figure out, okay, what we're seeing from Paul George right now, is this just a slump, or is this the reality of his age coming to him? So I feel like the window has to stay open. I mean, they're only a couple games out of the play-in at 9 and 17. So they have a chance. Let him hoop. I mean, he's got half of a leg and a mask on, and he's still dropping 34. So you hope that by April and May that things get better, even though there's no real sample size to say that it will.
When you say they got a chance at what, Kenny?
I think that they're going to go into a lot of series with the best player in the series. And I think when you have that, you have a chance. Like when they went against New York Knicks last year, again, one leg, he got Bell's palsy, so half of his face can't even blink. That's right. And they almost won that series. So I think that, again, as long as Joel Embiid is there, they have a chance to win any series. Now, do I pick them against the Celtics? Not a chance. Do I pick them against the Cleveland Cavaliers? Maybe higher chance, but still no. But it will be hard to convince a team that tanked their ass off for 5 years to be like, we have one of the best players in the world, but we're going to tank again this season.
That's a fact. The 76ers, they're facing Wemby tonight, and he's been rolling as of late. Do you think Wemby is now a top 10 player in this league, and could he be top 5 by the end of the season?
Let's go.
Top 10 might be tough for me to get to. But, like, I'm looking at other centers across basketball. Wemby, at the worst, has a case for top 4 center, right, this season. You got Jokic. You're going to have AD, Karl-Anthony Towns in New York, and then it's Wemby. And I can see people saying they want Wemby over Karl-Anthony Towns right now. So I'll probably pump the brakes at him being top 10 right now, but I think he's very close to it.
Yeah, I like top 15. He's like honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I think all they have to do is just win more games and us see him do what he's doing now on the biggest stage in the playoffs. And I think he's
They're trying, Chandler. They're trying.
Everybody's trying, Beadle.
No, everybody's not trying.
You get an A for effort. Kenny, the NBA, I feel like they're trying everything for All-Star Weekend because, let's be honest, it's been pretty bad the last couple of years. So new format featuring a mini tournament of 4 teams, 3 teams with 8 All-Stars, and then the 4th team is the winner of the Rising Stars game. Does that move the needle for you for All-Star Weekend, or change the channel?
Oops.
If we need a script to describe what the All-Star game is, we've gone too far. Like, that's the reality of it all, man. And now that we already have leaders in the NBA like Kevin Durant and LeBron James vocally saying that they don't like it, that lets me know everything we're going to see, right? If the players aren't into it, then they won't give the effort. And then the fans won't really be into it. So last year we had tickets to the All-Star game. We didn't go. I got back on the road and came back to Chicago. And I might do the same thing this year. I can't lie. I would rather be home than watch an All-Star game live. And that's kind of crazy because when I was 10 years old, that was the thing I wanted most, was to be there for these type of events. And now I'm like, get me home ASAP.
I told you,
okay,
man.
so, all right, but here's the problem, right? If LeBron and KD are saying it, but everyone is sort of why it's gotten to this point. So it's nice to say, why don't we, by the way, we just had East-West. It's not like it's far gone in the past. So my question, or my foreshadowing, I suppose, is, are we going to get to a point where we just Pro Bowl this thing and like literally it's just nothing, and maybe some guys go somewhere for a weekend and maybe someone tunes in?
It's not the worst idea.
That's so tough. Yeah.
Kenny, I've said
it's a
it.
bummer.
This is all of these gimmicks, all of these ideas. It is a simple fix. fellas, for 12 minutes, just play hard. For 12 minutes.
That's his
Just
They
speech.
won't. They won't.
For
They make too much
12
money. They make too much money. They'll never
Then
play
just stop
hard.
doing it.
And here we are. Like, it's so many questions about this new format. Like, what happens if the G League guys beat your top 8 guys? Do you think that's something that the fans want to see? Like, no, they want to see the best of the best compete against each other. And the key word is compete, just for a quarter. They understand it's an all-star game. They're going to be cool with the dunks. Even the dunks are going. Like, now it's just a three-point shootout from half court. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. Give us the dunks, give us the lobs. In the fourth quarter, we want to see some separation. We want to see who's the best of the best. Simple and plain. This is not science. This shit is not rocket science. Fellas, for 12 minutes, show these people why they love you so much and make some separation. Look, I'm better than you. It's the difference between an all-star and a superstar. It's nothing wrong
But
with
it
that.
hasn't. But Lou, that's not happening now. So, like, why would you think if you just tell them that it's going to change?
I don't think it'll happen. I'm just saying I think it's an easy fix. That's all. I don't think it happens. I just think it's an easy fix.
Yeah,
I think you just take the All-Star game away.
2020, right, in Chicago. Like, there was a lot going on in the NBA. That was a month after Kobe's passing. It felt like there was a lot of pride on that court. We had the Elam ending. I don't know if y'all remember that in Chicago. So people really got down to it. Like, Kyle Lowry drew 3 charges in the All-Star game. Like, that's insane. That was the type of competition we had. And since then, it's been completely downhill. I completely agree with you, Lou. Just, I would love for 12 minutes, because even when I was a kid, that's really all it was. Like, it was a showcase for 3 quarters. In that fourth quarter, that's when we really got down to it. And that's when it became fun. And it's just not fun anymore.
This is depressing.
The problem is, even like when we played, Lou, the only reason I would go when I wasn't in the All-Star game was to make money and go to parties and appearances. Now these guys' contracts are so big, they're making so much money, they're not going to go there and actually compete. They're out till 4 or 5 in the morning the night before. There's no advantage for their team to win with all the load management. It's just never going to happen. I think you could just scrap it. You could keep it entertaining. The only thing that would be competitive is one-on-one tournament, because at least that way you're going to get exposed if you play better, if you don't compete. So I think that would be the only adjustment. But then again, who's going to play in that? Who's going to risk that in the middle of the season? It's tough.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen. We can go on and on about this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beadle.
No, I mean, look, maybe just take it away for like 3 years and see if anybody misses it. And then maybe, I don't know. Bucks. Okay. We all know how the season started for the Bucks. I mean, we legit were like, trade Giannis, fire Doc. Everything was just end of days. And then here we are, 13-4 since that start. And they look legit. They're the NBA Cup champs. Are they contenders once again?
I like that we're using NBA Cup champs as like a real thing. I'm team
yeah.
NBA Cup personally. Are they real contenders? In my mind, like, if you got to go through Boston, you're going to have a tough time. And that's what is the differentiator for me. I'm still going to say a slight no. I wish that Damian Lillard played that last game versus the Cavs, because that would have been a premier matchup for me. They're borderline. They're going to have Giannis in every series, which is dope. But, again, I still have Celtics over them. I still have OKC. I still have Dallas over them. So maybe they're like 5th in my hierarchy.
5th? Even
But
after the Cup?
Have you seen anything in the East that makes you think somebody else can come out of the East besides Boston?
Nah, it's really them. Like, it's them or a sprained ankle and somebody else can get it. Like, that's really what it is, honestly. The defense is too crazy. Tatum is having such a good revenge year after all of the chatter about him with the Olympics, and everybody's still playing on a string. The only thing I can look at is that, like, their paint defense kind of is trash right now, but Porzingis is starting to work his way back, so those numbers are getting better and better and better. It really is the Celtics to lose, and we haven't had a back-to-back champion in some time. I think this could be the year.
Okay, Kenny, so Celtics out of the East. We look at the West. The best team in the West just looked like trash, too, against Milwaukee in the NBA Cup Finals. So we always talk about how good the Thunder are, how good their future is set up. Do they have enough right now to get out of the West and to compete against the Celtics?
I think they have enough, but I would love for Sam Presti and them to be really aggressive, right? Last year, they didn't really do that. They waited until the offseason. They got their first bit of playoff experience and found out that Josh Giddey is not playable in a playoff series, so they traded him away for Alex Caruso. They found out that their rebound was one of the biggest Achilles heels to their team. They paid $30 million annually for Isaiah Hartenstein to come in and rebound. So they've done a good job of patching things together. But one thing that NBA Cup final really exposed was the lack of jump shooting and the lack of size from their wings. That's why I look at Cam Johnson in Brooklyn and say he's the perfect OKC Thunder player. I think if they decided to stand put, they still would be my favorite, but it's like a slim margin between them and Dallas, and that's why they should be aggressive to go get some more wings on this roster that you trust defensively and can also knock down the shot. Because when you look up and you say that, man, everybody outside of Shea is 1 of 25 for 3 this game on national TV, it's a nasty thing, and there are some players across basketball that can really help that.
Yeah, and we talked about some moving parts, and the trade rumors are in full swing right now. Our guy, Jimmy Butler, he's at the top of that list, and it looked like it's beginning of the end for his time with the Miami Heat. What would you like to see Jimmy land if he was to get out of Miami?
It's so tough because I think the second apron has really prevented a lot of teams from being as aggressive as they want to be. I mean, we're talking about a $50 million player, basically, and to aggregate those contracts, the teams that he wants to go to, like Dallas, would have to throw in P.J. Washington, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall. That's like 3 of their top 7 players. It's too much. You look at Phoenix and you look at Miami and say, why would we want Bradley Beal back at this point in his career? You look at some of the Houston Rockets are playing great basketball as a young team. Why do we want the 36-year-old superstar? We can do what OKC did. Wait, see what we have in a playoff series and determine what we need then. It's tough, man. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Butler finishes this season as a Miami Heat player because the contract is too big. And you got to think about it. He's going to want that other extension after this. So we're paying him $50 million this year. Who knows what that contract can be next year? And do we want to be in business with a 38-year-old superstar a couple years down the line? It's a bit tough. Miami is Heat culture. I think he still fits that even if they're not a contender anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if he stays.
So another name we keep hearing is Zach LaVine, who obviously your Chicago Bulls. He's been on the block for a while. We were talking about them moving him last year when you came on the show. Where do you see him going? Do they finally pull the trigger? What's going on there?
I think it's just cool because last time we talked, we mentioned how nobody was really interested, and now he's played his value up. He's still one of those crazy contract players, right? But I think I'm more optimistic than I was last year about him potentially being moved. Though I don't love the fit in Denver, the fact that they're even interested in the first place tells us a lot about him. And there are going to be teams across basketball that might be calling. The Clippers fans have been hitting me up very loudly about him ending up with the LA Clippers. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, kind of. I mean, you do got PJ Tucker's contract, Bones Highland. You can make that money match with Terrence Mann as well. The Lakers are always looking for some superstar scoring, and I think that's what Zach LaVine is. He won't be on the team in February, which is like, it hurts my heart, but it makes sense for the future of this franchise, and I'll be rooting for him no matter where he goes. But I think he deserves to play for a team that's doing something, and that's not happening in Chicago.
Okay, so give me one.
It's deja vu.
Yes, I feel like his name's always brought up. Kenny, give me one trade. It can be Zach. It can be Jimmy. What's the one move you would like to see get done?
I would love for the Golden State Warriors to get NIKOLA VUCEVIC out of Chicago. It's very, very simple. He's making about $20 million annually. You can make it happen pretty easily with some players that don't really play in their rotation. And I don't even think the value is as high as like give us multiple first-round picks. Hell, I don't even know if he'll get 1 first-round pick. But I look at that team and their lack of size, and Kevon Looney's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, but his minutes are 20 minutes here, 6 minutes there. They could use an offensive weapon that stretches the floor. He's having a career year there. They already have the defensive infrastructure with Draymond Green and some of the younger guys really competing. They've never really had great size when it comes to the Steph Curry era, and I think Vucevic can come in and provide some of that.
So you want him traded away with love, not like get out of here.
Yeah. You know, I'm team enjoy basketball, baby. Even though the last 4 years of Bulls fandom ain't been good, I still got love for Vooch and Zach and all of the other players. Let's see them go to a team that matters a little bit.
No, it's hard. It's hard when you look at your own team. You're like, I'm not trying to get rid of you. I just want the best. Derrick Rose, we haven't talked to you about it since he retired. Obviously, he's beloved. People all say, oh, give him a statue, everything that's coming his way. But is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh man, you asking the wrong person this question because I'm gonna go to war for Derrick Rose Hall of Fame case. I always will.
like
I mean, honestly, there are a good amount of players in the Hall of Fame right now that Derrick Rose has a better career than, even if it is, we're talking 2.5-year sample size. The 2.5 years were for not. That was the last time I've seen good basketball in Chicago. MVP, 1 seed, going against the Miami Heatles. Like, you got to think about it. There are not a lot of teams that people expected to compete with Miami. The Bulls are one of those teams. No, we didn't beat them in the playoff series ever. But like, those were premier matchups. I'm going to say yes regardless. And I'm completely biased, and I understand that. But I'm saying 100% yes.
I totally agree with you. You know, I experienced a lot of that, and nobody had the impact at the point guard position since Derrick Rose, since AI before that. You know, it was AI, Derrick Rose, Steph Curry. And I always say, like, statues and all of those things, those are personal to Chicago. Like, he definitely deserves a statue. So Kenny, I'm with you on that. 5 games Christmas Day. We got Spurs, Knicks, T-Wolves, Mavs. What we got? Celtics, Sixers, Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets, Suns. Which one of those?
Yeah.
Like, what's the matchup of the day?
I don't know, man. It might be one of the ones where we just chill with the family. I don't like the slate at all. I can't lie to you.
What?
I guess it's Lakers Warriors because it's Steph Curry versus Bron, but like, I feel like they could have gave us better matchups this Christmas. Give us something. Give us New Jerseys. Give us.
Yeah, we didn't know that it was going to go this way. Like, we didn't know that the Sixers were going to come in limping. We didn't know that the T-Wolves are going to take a step back. Like, historically, we would have liked these matchups. The Nuggets, Suns, we'd have thought that'd have been a better matchup preseason. So
Yeah, you didn't know the Cavs were going to crush
right.
people. Cavs should have been playing on Christmas, but who knew? Didn't see that coming. Also, that noon game looks fun. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm all in.
I'm happy that Wemby is getting that for sure.
Come on, Wemby in the Garden. What else do you guys want? It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be popping. The rebuild. Let's rebuild a team. That's your thing. There are a bunch of teams with 0 shot at winning a title. So, just picking whichever one you want. Which is a team that you would love to rebuild?
Can I stay here in Chicago with it? I mean, I feel like that's the easy answer, right? Yeah. For 2 years, we've been asking the team to do it, and then they traded DeMar DeRozan for 2 second-round picks. I guess that's fine. We're still waiting on the direction of this team, right? Like, even when we had the LAVINE, DeMar, Lonzo, VUCEVIC lineup, and we were the 1 seed for 2 weeks straight, nobody really looked at that team as a contender. And I really think that the front office saw that and got that fake level of confidence that this team could eventually be something. And now we're 2.5 years removed for that, and we're still competing for the 9th seed. So I think if there's any team that needs a rebuild, it's really that one. And we already mentioned a Zach LaVine or a VUCEVIC trade. And I get asked all the time, is there anybody on the roster that should be considered untouchable? And I say absolutely no. I love Kobe White. I love Patrick Williams. I love Ayo Dosunmu. But if the right price or the right trade is on the table, you have to say yes, because in order to eventually do the things that you want to do, which is win a championship, you're going to have to hit on some draft picks. You're going to have to find the next 1A type of player. And it's been a while since Chicago has signed that in free agency, so you have to do it through the draft. And if we draft number 7 or we draft number 13 every single year, our odds of getting that 1A guy just drop significantly. So though I got a lot of love for pretty much everybody in this roster, they've been nothing but cool to me when I've met them. I'm okay with shipping them out if that means that 4 years down the line, we're back in the playoff series and we looking okay.
Just all new cards. Just start fresh. I get it.
Got to.
Okay, idea. So Draymond Green had that amazing stat line last week. The 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists, plus minus 42 if you care, in 19 minutes. Should his podcast be taken away as punishment when you have a performance like that, just for like a week or 2?
I think maybe you don't take the podcast away, but you give a public apology, because he was talking a lot of trash to the Memphis Grizzlies right before this game happened, where he's talking trash about Taylor Jenkins and Zach Edey being soft. And there are multiple times in this game where Zach Edey put him on his butt. So I think a verbal apology will go a long way. We can move past it. And then we watch that matchup happen again in a little while, and we say, hey, who learned a lesson? Was it Draymond? I don't know. Have we seen Draymond learn any lesson in 5 years? I don't know if we have an answer to that.
He called the man Janky Jenkins. Like, you can't do that and then just go out there and crap the bed.
Good luck getting that apology.
Wait forever and ever and ever. Kenny, this has been awesome. We missed you. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it.